You can't walk away from me. No one can. You all belong to us. The others want you dead. But I want you here, alive. I can use you. You will never see the sun again.
Yo guys, what's up? My name is Jack2505 and this is my review on Redfall, the open world vampire looter shooter from Arcane Austin and published by Bethesda. This will be a full spoiler review regarding what I discuss and what you see in this video. So if you don't want to see any story spoilers, any boss spoilers, and you want a completely fresh experience, then I suggest coming back to this video once you've completed the game at least once. You have been warned, but if you don't care, please stick with me and let's continue. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Redfall was first introduced at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase at E3 2021. Redfall was supposed to be released earlier but was delayed until the 2nd of May 2023. Redfall was hyped to be one of the huge Microsoft games and one of the games that was really going to show off the system. We would have to wait and see. The game is set in the town of Redfall. After a failed scientific experiment, the island is infiltrated by a group of vampires who eventually take over the town and blocks people from leaving and eventually coming in. You play as one of the 4 survivors: Devinda, a cryptozoologist; Layla, a telekinetic student; Jacob, a special forces sniper veteran; and Remy, who is a combat engineer and who has a little small robot who comes out with her on missions. A great little robot who's an amazing assistant, and Remy was the character that I went with. At first, just like many players, I thought Redfall was going to be like another Back 4 Blood, Aliens Fireteam Elite, or Left 4 Dead, but with vampires. But it shares more in common with games like Borderlands, Division, and a bit of Destiny as well. I found most of the story missions in Redfall pretty dull at the start. Most missions will have you going into a building and finding an item, then place that item in another place, then you go back to your base of operations. Missions will be filled with human enemies who are vampire worshippers and the vampires themselves. I did get used to this type of mission after a while, and I thought to myself, I've got to go on another treasure hunt to find items, and for me, there's just not enough action-based missions, in particular at the start of the game. And I can imagine this probably put a lot of gamers off and probably got bored. Now, the enemies in the game, you've got the humans who are from different factions who worship different vampire gods and will hunt you down in, let's say, I don't know, if you to compare it to any other type of enemy, maybe a bit of Division type style. I enjoy the fact that certain weapons and abilities are stronger against humans and vampires as well. You basically choose your gear and engagements in different ways. So for example, with vampires, to truly kill them, you must shoot down all their energy and then execute them with a stake to the heart. This must be done, otherwise they will regenerate and then respawn and then basically come after you again. Vampires will attack you with teleporting, running towards you, and melee attacks. Also, vampire mini-bosses that will put clouds of smoke around you and pull you towards them and have a nice bite of your neck, which causes huge damage. The graphics in Redfall are basically nothing special. Doesn't really look anything next gen or a game to really show off the Xbox Series X and S. I'm not really sure if Arcane were even trying to go for that next gen look, but to be honest, I'm not that bothered about the graphics. I think the interior buildings and rooms look a lot better than the open world, which is pretty bland looking. A bigger concern for me are the really poor cutscenes, which are basically slideshows. No effort to really put like a cool cutscene to draw me into the story. Just slideshows backed up by echo shadows replaying past scenes, like in Batman Arkham Knight. but not in a good way. The sound in Redfall is actually one of the positives. The creepy sounds that vampires make when they're alone or when they think you're near them and when they're chasing you. Also, the music in the game is decent, and the sound effects when you enter certain vampire worlds and domains. The weapons and loot. Now, Redfall follows the tried and tested formula of different loot variety mixed with different perks and attributes. The gunplay is good enough, responsive, and provides a satisfying feeling when killing humans and vampires. I enjoyed using the stake launcher and the UV light guns in particular against the vampires and flare guns against the humans are a treat. It would have been good to see a better presentation on the guns though. Most of them look a bit bland and sort of you've seen it before but in a worse way. It would have been good to have a more unique visual look on the weapons, perhaps take something out of Borderlands or Destiny for example. There are a variety of special vampires such as shrouds that cause a black cloud around you disrupting your near and far vision, the angler that can pull you towards them and take a large bite, the blood banks that causes an explosive area of effective damage, and there are more. However, it would have been good to see more of these types of vampires in missions, have them more scattered around the open world, making the population more dense and providing that real constant present danger. The open world in Redfall includes main missions, side missions, vampire nests, safe houses, and fast travel points. The side missions include more go there, find that item, bring it back, and the vampire nest. So far, they're a huge letdown. The nest I completed involved just sneaking in and going past sleeping vampires without waking them up, getting to the heart, destroying the heart, and then leaving. I thought the vampire nest would be like a stronghold or a dungeon type, but I was mistaken. Maybe I should play more the vampire nest and then discuss it in a future video, but so far not impressed. The safe houses, they were fun to unlock and are essential to the progress in the game. Once you unlock a safe house, you take on a safe house mission, which includes you killing a vampire underboss, you collect its skull, and then unlock the door to one of the vampire gods. Now, the big bosses in Redfall are the vampire gods. You earn your way to fighting them by completing safe house missions, beating other bosses, and then collecting the skulls. Opening the doors that will lead you first to the Hollow Man, Bloody Tom, Miss Whisper, and then finally the Black Sun. I found the Hollow Man vampire god the most annoying, cheap area of effect, damage, attacks, almost nowhere to hide, and out of all the vampire gods, the first one, the Hollow Man, was the one that I actually found the hardest. Bloody Tom wasn't too bad. I used the little robot ability to distract him, so he'd be attacking the robot most of the time rather than me, and it worked a treat. It looks like it's a common theme in this game. Distract enemies and you'll have a much easier time. Miss Whisper was probably the most fun and interesting vampire god out of them all. Interesting mechanics needing to destroy important sections of her duplicates in order to do damage to her, and at the same time dealing with her vampire minions running at you at all angles. The final boss is the Black Sun, and it's the easiest out of all the vampire gods, which was a disappointment. The good thing about all the vampire gods is that they give good rewards once you defeat them, including the Black Sun. But it was strange that the first boss in the game was the toughest, and the last one was the easiest. Let's talk about the PC performance, because this is the platform that I played it on. The PC performance has overall not been good. Too much stuttering, freezing in particular areas when walking around the open world. I've tried different settings and it all results in the same PC stuttering, even on low settings. Some settings, however, it does stutter less than others, but I have a PC that can easily run this game. The PC launch has been embarrassing, not just for Redfall, but for a lot of other games that's been released over the last 12 months. Not good enough. Multiplayer. Redfall has no matchmaking whatsoever. Redfall has no searchable custom lobbies, and for me, this really, quite frankly, pisses me off. Also, the host only gets the story progress, so if you're a guest, you'll only be earning gear and leveling up. So the game encourages players to play by themselves and team up later, which is extremely bad game design. if you don't have any friends on Redfall, you'll have to use the Xbox LFG or the Redfall Discord and add randoms as friends. So when you set up a lobby and then you do the LFG thing, and then you'll then invite players, and then you'll have to send them a friend request, and then some will accept it and some won't, and it takes long, and this is just all nonsense. Stop making co-op a chore. I mean, learn from other games. Even Wild Hearts, that got released a couple of months ago, has custom lobbies and an excellent matchmaking system. So you just jump on and play, and that's it. Redfall needs to add matchmaking into the game and stop all this nonsense. All this must be on your friends list crap. It doesn't work, and I can't stand it. Please, Arcane, add matchmaking. Now, my final impressions of Redfall. For some crazy reason, I kind of like this game. I can see what Arcane were trying to do, and it's been executed badly. Don't get me wrong. If I bought this game on Steam or another platform, I would have requested a refund within 2 hours. But Redfall, I have to admit, it's come at the right time for me. I've got nothing else to play at the moment. All the rest of the games I've played, the content's kind of dried up. I would recommend picking up this game on Game Pass only. If you've got friends to play with, then team up and play. It's probably a much better experience. I'm interested in seeing what the game can do next, because it's been a hammer blow for the developer, the publisher, Microsoft, and Phil Spencer, who recently admitted that they dropped the ball with Redfall. I will continue to rack out um, Remy and then move on to the other survivors. Play the game on the harder setting, cover any new updates, and make videos on current content as well. Guys, tell me what you think of Redfall. If you're enjoying it, let me know. If you're hating it, let me know. If you think the game's got a future, if you think the game is garbage and Arcane should just move on, I want to know your thoughts. Now, thank you very much for making it to the end of the video. My name is Jack2505, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.